Hi, welcome to Donegal Railway Heritage Centre. Today we're going to have a look at the track and how we're laying it for Drumboe's return. But first let's have a look at this. This is an original sleeper from the Donegal Railway. They're made of Baltic redwood, and you can see here the rail is a flat bottom rail, usually around 40-pound rail, which means for every yard it weighed 40 pounds. And you can see it was spiked directly onto the sleeper. So these dog spikes were hammered in to keep the rail in place, and the rails were of course 3 foot apart because it was 3-foot gauge. So let's go outside now and have a look at the more modern rail we're using for Drumboe. Here we are outside. You can see we've started to lay the rail for Drumboe. Let's have a closer look at these components and see how it all fits together. So this is how we're putting our rails down for Drumboe. We have a wooden sleeper, we have the chair which is bolted into place. So you drill a hole and use one of these bolts to fix the chair in place. The rail then slots into the chair. The rail we're using here is 90-pound rail. This is the sort of rail you would find on the main line. And then once the rail slots into place, these rail keys are tapped in alongside to keep it in place. If you look at the profile of that, you can see how it's wedge shaped, and you just hammer it in and that holds the rail in place. So here are sleepers that we got from Éireann Road Éireann. These come off the standard rail, so they're over 8 foot long. So we have to cut them down to make them the right size for the 3-foot gauge. Now the old sleeper you've seen inside was around 5 foot long. We've had to make these about 6'4" to accommodate the extra space needed for the chairs. So how do we go about actually putting the rail down and making sure everything's in the correct position? Well, there's a couple of gauges we need to be sure of. So obviously we've got the 3-foot gauge between the rails for the Donegal stock, but also we need to be aware of the gauge between the platform and the first rail to make sure the rolling stock actually fits. So once we have this measurement here and we know where the inside wheel is going to be, we've that distance set and we can set this rail in place. Then we have to measure 3 foot from this rail to this rail to get this into position. And we've actually used one of our artifacts, which is an original gauging tool from the Donegal Railway, for establishing the gauge between the tracks. So we can use this all the way down to make sure the space is correct. And that's how we lay the tracks. So you can see here on the sleepers we have all the chairs in place. We've used those 2 short bit of rails you can see at the end to line everything up to make sure the chairs are the equal distance apart, because we have to get a machine in now to lift these long sections of rail in so we can plonk them into place, because these are about 45 foot long, so they're very, very heavy. So we'll have a machine in and it'll drop them into the chairs. We'll go along, bang in the rail keys, checking the gauge as we go, and it's all set ready for Drumboe. Once the rails are all in place, we'll then lay ballast in between the sleepers and under the rails and tamp it all into place, and it'll be ready for Drumboe. Hope you enjoyed that little look at how we're laying track here at the Railway Heritage Centre. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.